right, so here I want to kind of use relative references for a macro. So let me show you how this one works. Let's say I have all these rows I want to delete. And I could do it by the way I already learned, which is just to select this whole table and then sort it, and it'll sort out the empty rows. That would probably be the quickest way. But let's say I didn't know about that. If for some reason I couldn't use that method, I might go in and right-click each row and choose delete, delete, delete. A really repetitive task. All right. Or otherwise, I could create a macro and say, hey, just delete every other row. And before I do it this time, I want to make sure that the relative references is on. Now, this is kind of a tricky deal. I have to get close and look close, but you can see right now there's no green box around that little icon right there. When I click this, the entire thing disappears, but when I bring it back up, there's now a really light green box around that icon, which means that relative references are being used now. So I'm going to click record macro. It's going to ask me for the name macro delete row. And I'm going to assign a shortcut key to it. So let's use, I don't know, Control J. And it's just going to be this workbook, and it's going to delete a row. And start on cell above with content. There are the instructions. So I click OK. My macro is now recording. I'm starting out in this cell. I'm going to come down one cell. I'm then going to right-click that and choose delete. And then I'm going to make sure I end up kind of just like I started out. Now I'm going to stop my macro. And now, hopefully, when I press Control J, on my computer, it's deleting rows for me. And I say hopefully because macros can be a little bit persnickety, and sometimes you have to re-record them 2 or 3 times to get them to do exactly what you want. But there we go, look at that, and I can just fly through all this stuff, and it's deleting every other row. So right now I'm just holding down Control J. I could also come up here, and once again I could go to more commands, and I could go to my macros, and I could go to delete row, and I could add that over, and then I could go to modify, and I could give it an icon. I could hit OK, and now I got that icon up here, so I could click that one too, and that would also work. So that's using relative references. This macro, I want it to sort of just rearrange all of that data. To do that, I need consistency. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So whenever my data stays consistent, this should work. So let's create a new macro. I'm going to start on that cell, will be my first cell. I want to make sure relative references is on. I'm going to go to record macro, and I'm going to give this shortcut key of, let's say, L. Let's make it capital L. There we go. This workbook, and now my macro is recording. So I'm going to take this text, come down one, take that text and move it over. And then come down, down, and over, take that text and move it over, and then come down, over, select all of these, delete, and end up on that one where I started out. All right, now let's see if it works. Control Shift L, and you can see it's laying all of my data out nicely, so long as my data is staying in a consistent pattern. And there is inconsistent data here. So we'll see that in a moment, and it will no longer work. So here's inconsistent data, and it's no longer working. So you have to have consistent data. So that's kind of rearranging data. You could also do macros with a prank. Like I could reassign, I could go to macro, record macro, and I'm going to assign it to Control C. Okay, what's up? I'm going to stop my macro. I guess I have to hit enter to accept that. And I'm going to stop my macro. And now anytime somebody comes in here and they press Control C, they're going to get, what's up, what's up, what's up? So I could overwrite keyboard shortcuts. And that's like a little bit of a prank. People will be like, what is happening to my computer? Every time I press Control C, it says, what's up? Or you can say, hi, Max, hope your day's going well. So it's a little bit of a prank you can play on a friend, record a macro into their computer, and then, you know, Control C stops working for them and it says something funny. All right, anything else? We already saw adding the macros to the quick access toolbar. So the last thing I'd like to show you about macros is you can come in here and you could choose view macros, and you can see all the different macros. So I can say, hey, I no longer want those. Are you sure you want to delete that? Yeah. And do you want to delete this one? Yeah. Let's delete that one. And then you see some other choices in here, like what are my options? If you click options, it tells you like here's the shortcut key and here's the description. And then you have edit and step into, which just takes you into no man's land, VB programming, and you'll just be like, I don't know what the heck that is. So just click close when you see that. And if you choose step into, again, you're going to be like, I don't know what the heck that is, and just click OK and close that. And if you do run, it'll actually run the macro. So that's one more way you could run a macro, is just to choose it here and choose run. So that's a little bit about macros. Yeah, bada bing, bada bang, recording and automating tasks. Pretty cool.